So let's face it, you're in year 11, GCSEs are coming, but you're still not that familiar with your x, with your quadratic graphs, with your quadratic equations, with your open and double brackets. This video's for you. I made this just for you. So enjoy.
Right, so let's just get straight into the action. How do you open this? X plus 2 times x plus 2, because brackets means they're times in each other. So how do you get the answer to this? So follow me very closely. This is how I would do it. This first x, I would call it A. This 2, I would call it B. This I'll call C, and of course this I'll call D. So how do you get the answer when there's 2 terms in each of the bracket? Here's what you do. You use A times C plus A times D plus B times C plus B times D. So notice what we're doing is that we're making sure everything multiplies with each other, and then that's how you get your final answer. So A times C, x times by x, x squared. A times D, x times by 2, 2x. 2 times by x, 2x again. 2 times by 2, 4. Okay, so collect your like terms. That will be x squared plus 4x plus 4. But how do you answer it when they ask you to solve it? Solve x squared plus, let's use a different number, right? X squared plus 12x plus 27. So how you do it in this situation, how you first factorize it, so turn it into this bracket form, because sometimes they can ask you to factorize this as well. So what you do is you find out what adds together to get 12 and what times together to get 27. So what do you multiply to get 27? We can try 3 and 9. 3 plus 9, 12. So what you get in your brackets is x plus 3 and x minus 9. So that's not what the question is asking. You just factorized your expression, but you haven't solved it. So know this, when you get an expression like this, what you're essentially saying is you have a graph that looks like this. And the answer to this x is always these 2 points on the graph. They're called the roots, is when they cross this x-axis, right? So this x will in turn always neutralize this term behind it, which means your answers, say for example, for x1, because there's 2 roots here, as you can see, x1 would be negative 3 because it neutralizes this plus 3. And your x2 would be negative 9 because it neutralizes this plus 9. So this graph would actually look like this, because both of the roots are negative, they will be around here. So this is deeper in, so this is the negative 9, 0, and this would be the negative 3, 0. So that was a quick 101 crash course on double brackets, factorizing, and solving quadratic expression. If you have anything you want to ask me, feel free to ask. It's better that you ask now than if you ask after your GCSE and you're not happy with your grade. But now, there's a second type of possibility. What if it has a coefficient in front of the x squared? Say for example, you get something like 3x squared minus 16x minus 12. How would you solve this if the question was asking you to solve it? So, there's many different methods of doing it. You can split open the middle or whatnot, but this is the way that I will teach you, and this is the most efficient way, to be honest. So what you do, listen very carefully, because if you mess up, your answer will be completely wrong. You take this, you multiply it by the number at the back. So it takes away the coefficient from here, but you times it at the back, which means what you will get is x squared minus 16x minus 3 times 12, 36. And then you do it just like you would any other quadratic, right? So what adds up to negative 16 but equals to negative 36. So that can be 18 and 2. But because this is negative, so we know that this is negative 18 and plus 2. So these are the brackets that you will get. And x plus 18. But we're not done yet. So the thing about this is that because you've moved this at the start to the back, when you get for your answer, you need to repay the debt that you built up at the start. So you need to divide it back by the 3. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. But this looks ugly, right? So if we're leaving it in bracket form, you move the 3 over here, which means it's 3x plus 2, because at the end of the day, like I said, you're neutralizing that number anyways. So if you're not dividing by 3 here, just times by 3 here, because these numbers are supposed to be exact opposites, right? But then, at the start, I said it's asking you to solve it. So how do you solve it? So like I taught you earlier again, you find the opposite of that number. So you'd actually take this form of the number, and now, so your x1 would be negative 2 over 3, like I said. You don't just leave the 3 over here doing nothing. And then that would be, the x2 would be negative 6. So plot that on a graph. What you would get would be something like, since they're both negative, I'm going to draw it here. So let's say that this is very exaggerated, but negative 2 over 3, 0. Because the y is always 0 with your answers. And then here, it would be negative 6, 0.